Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Daily Rant. I'm your host, Mr. Constitution, and today we're going to be looking at the January 6 hearings. That's right. The hearings where we try to figure out what happened on the January 6th insurrection, is what everyone's been calling it these days. That horrible, awful time when the Capitol Police let people in to the Capitol and they just disrupted everything, trying to break up I don't know what exactly the point of the thing was. They just wanted to try to disrupt the process. People felt jilted by the election. Things weren't good. And now the Democrats are just trying to make some hay because they're getting demolished by everything. Good old Joe is not being the greatest president ever. And so I'm sure they're all terrified that the elections coming in November are going to be a bloodbath. So they're trying to make as much hay as possible out of these hearings. That's why they're happening in prime time. That's why, as they said, it's the most produced hearings that we've ever done in the course of our nation. Really getting a big Red Scare vibe out of these hearings. And so today we're going to look at the former news company CNN and their coverage. Apparently, I don't know if you all knew this, there was a bombshell today in the hearings as this Trump aide gave testimony to the committee. The committee, mostly Democrats and some hand-picked Republicans by Nancy Pelosi, because we got to look like we're bipartisan here. We can't make it we can't let it look like it's all just one-sided. I mean, no Republicans would ever go along with Democrats just for political gain, would they? No, not at all. So let's see what's going on here. So apparently, aides to former President Donald Trump, were left speechless amid the first half of Cassidy Hutchinson's testimony on Tuesday, acknowledging to CNN that her testimony was a bombshell. So one of the things that really drives me nuts about modern news is that everything is from an anonymous source. Who is this Trump aide that decided this was a bombshell? It's never named. They're never named in this article. No names other than this Hutchinson lady are used. Miss Hutchinson, I don't know her. Maybe she has the country's interest at heart. Who knows, man? Who knows what's going on with these hearings? And this is the problem we're having right now. We can't trust anything. Who knows what's being said, what's going on? Who knows what's true? That's the problem that we're running into. We have no trust in our institutions at all now. And so who knows what actually happened on January 6th? Some people say it was violent rioters staging an insurrection, which I gotta say, if this was an insurrection, worst insurrection ever, no one knows. And that's the problem. We can't trust anything that these people say. This is a problem with our institutions in general. Does anyone trust the government now? If you do, you're an idiot. You're an idiot if you trust the government right now. You're an idiot if you trust the government ever. Don't trust the government, people. The only purpose government has is to consolidate power. Don't trust it. That's why we have a constitution that is meant to severely limit and explicitly describe what our government is and is not empowered to do. That's the whole point of our Constitution. It is to limit the power of government, because our founders knew that government unchecked will just do whatever it wants. If you think about it, the founding fathers broke off from a system of tyranny, a system ruled by a king that was tyrannical, that was all powerful. And yeah, okay, there was Parliament in England. There was supposed checks on the king's power, but the colonists had suffered abuses endlessly at the hands of a foreign government, and we decided, you know what, that's not what we want anymore. So we broke off and we decided we had a new chance to do things right. And so we had a written constitution, something that was new. No country had ever done that before. So we have a written constitution that in black and white clearly describes the powers of the federal government. Now, most people, hopefully, if you remember your civics classes and from high school, you'll remember that, or your history classes, you'll remember that first we tried the Articles of Confederation, and but these ended up being not quite what we needed. It didn't provide enough stability for the Union, so they scrapped that and tried anew, built the Constitution. And the framers were very clear as they set it up that these were limits on the government, that if our government, if it wasn't described in these documents, the government couldn't do it. That was the whole point of the 10th Amendment. A lot of people don't remember the 10th Amendment of the Constitution. The 10th Amendment says that all the powers not vested in the federal government by this document are reserved to the states and to the people. So if the government, if the Constitution doesn't say that the federal government can do it, then that power is left to the people and the individual state governments. The states created the federal government, not the other way around. So the states, which are closer to the people, should have more power. But our federal government, which has been operating outside the bounds of the Constitution for probably centuries at this point, is insane. Insane. The things that our government does that it is not given the power to do in the Constitution are nearly limitless. When we look at things like the Department of Education, the EPA, all the administrative state organizations that are not explicitly created by the Constitution should not exist. And that's the problem that we have. And so now we've got these bombshells. Now we've got all of this mess. And how do we clean it up? How do we clean it up? It starts with us. It starts with us. We have to start requiring more of our elected officials. We have to start holding them accountable. You know, one of the things about a republic is we get the government that we deserve. We have let this happen. We have let this happen. We have let our government go nuts. We have to look at ourselves. We have to look at the people we're voting for. It's a mess, guys. It's a mess, and we got to start cleaning it up for ourselves, for our children, for our grandchildren. Because things are getting out of hand. And I just hope we have a country that we can leave to our kids. Things are pretty nuts right now, people. But America has never shrunk away from tough things. So it's time for us to start cleaning house at the ballot box. Actually learn who you're voting for and start with your local elections. Oh gosh, start with your local elections. Those affect your life way more than federal elections. Anyway, I'm thinking about starting a series on the Constitution. I am Mr. Constitution after all, where we read the Constitution. You know, how many of you have read the Constitution? How many of you know what it says? It's been a while since I've read it. Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe we'll start going through that. Anyway, it's late. I've got to get going. If you like what you hear here, leave a like and a message. What do you guys think? You know, am I crazy? Am I just off the deep end? Is this how things have always been? I don't remember things being this crazy when I was a kid. Anyway, if you like what you heard here, please hit that like button and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. And we will catch you next time. Have a great evening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.